Have you ever looked at your life and felt strangely disconnected from it? Not because something terrible happened, not because everything fell apart, but because somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling fully present inside your own life. You still wake up. You still work. You still answer messages. You still make plans. From the outside, everything looks normal. But inside, something feels different. Heavier. Quieter, more distant. And the strange part is that you can't point to the exact moment it happened. There was no single day, no single decision, no single thing that broke you. It happened slowly. The way water fills a room, so gradually that by the time you noticed, you were already underwater. If you look back, when you were younger, you didn't need much to feel alive. A sunny afternoon, a blank piece of paper, a song you loved, nowhere to be, nothing to prove. You could sit in silence and it felt comfortable. You could do nothing and it felt like enough. Life felt closer then, more vivid, more real. But then, you grew up and the world handed you a script. It told you to study hard, to get the degree, to land the job, to build the career, to buy the car, to upgrade the phone, to climb the ladder, to earn the title, to expand the lifestyle. And maybe at first, it really did feel exciting. A new purchase, a better apartment, a bigger screen, a newer version of yourself for a moment. It felt like progress, like you were finally becoming someone, like you were finally safe, like you were finally enough. But slowly, something strange began to happen. The things you once dreamed about stopped making you feel anything at all. The excitement faded faster. The satisfaction became shorter. You reached the goal. And before you could even celebrate, the world looked at you and asked you, okay, but what's next? And enough. Kept moving further away. So you kept chasing, working more, buying more, accumulating more, without realizing your entire life had quietly become a treadmill. And the cruelest part of the treadmill is that it feels like movement. It feels like progress. It looks like ambition. It sounds like success. But at the end of each year, you find yourself in the same emotional place. A little more tired. A little more numb. A little further from the person you used to be. And it's not just the physical things you carry. It's the invisible weight of the modern world. It's the 50 open tabs in your browser. It's the endless scroll before you sleep. It's the unread messages you feel guilty about. It's the subscriptions you forgot you had. It's the dreams you postponed so many times, they stopped feeling real. It's the constant quiet panic that everyone else is moving forward, and you're somehow falling behind. Because modern life was never designed to satisfy you. It was designed to keep you wanting, to keep you insecure, to keep you hungry, to keep you just uncomfortable enough, to keep consuming. Because a satisfied person doesn't need a reason to overspend. A peaceful person doesn't chase. A present person cannot be manipulated so easily. So, the world taught you to confuse exhaustion with ambition, to confuse busyness with meaning, to confuse a full calendar with a full life, to confuse accumulation with identity. And somewhere along the way, your identity got tangled up in what you owned. Your car became a statement. Your apartment became a reflection of your worth. Your job title became your personality. Your salary became your self-esteem. You stopped asking, "Who am I?" and started answering with what I have. And slowly, owning things became a way of trying to feel alive, or worse, a way to distract yourself from questions you were afraid to answer. Am I happy? Is this the life I actually wanted? If I removed everything I own, who would I be? But the quiet truth, the one most people feel deep down, but rarely say out loud, is this. The more you accumulate, the more you have to carry. The more you own, the more it owns you back. Every unnecessary thing in your life costs something invisible. Attention, energy, mental space, time. The things you own must be cleaned, maintained, organized, protected, upgraded, replaced, worried about. And somewhere inside all of that, your peace quietly disappears. You become a manager of your own possessions, an administrator of your own lifestyle, a prisoner of a life you built without ever fully choosing. That's why some of the most restless people in the world live surrounded by excess. They have everything except the ability to sit still. They have every distraction available and still feel a hollow emptiness they cannot name. And some of the calmest people you'll ever meet own very little. They live in smaller spaces. They own fewer things. They say no more often. They protect their attention fiercely. But because they discovered something rare, that freedom is rarely found in addition. It's found in subtraction, in space, in silence, in enough. It's about the moment you realize that every object you bring into your life also brings its weight, and every object you release gives you something back. Space, clarity, breath. It's about finally asking the questions that modern life trains you to avoid. What actually matters to me? Not to my parents, not to my colleagues, not to the version of me that was trying to impress someone, to me. Do I own this thing? Or does this thing quietly own part of me? Am I holding on to this object, this job, this relationship, this version of myself, because it brings me genuine joy, or because I'm afraid of the empty space it would leave? Am I buying this because I truly need it, or because I'm trying to escape something I haven't faced yet? These questions are deeply uncomfortable, because the answers often reveal that much of what we chase was never truly ours. It was inherited, advertised, expected, performed. We spend years, sometimes decades, building a life, only to look around one day and realize we built it for someone else's approval, for a version of success that was never really ours to begin with. And realizing that feels like loss at first, like the ground shifting beneath you. But then, something unexpected happens. The grief turns into clarity. The emptiness turns into space. The silence turns into something you haven't felt in years. Peace. Because when you stop chasing what you were taught to want, when you stop trying to keep up, when you stop performing a life instead of living one, you finally create space to hear yourself again. And what you hear might change everything. Because after all the noise, after all the chasing, after all the accumulating, most people discover that what they truly needed, and was always simple: time, stillness, health, presence, real connection, unrushed mornings, a meal without a screen, a conversation without distraction, a walk without a destination, an evening with nowhere to be, rest that actually restores, peace that actually lasts, things that cannot be purchased, but are slowly destroyed by the endless pursuit of things that can. The wealthiest version of you is not the one with the most possessions. It's not the one with the biggest apartment or the most impressive title or the most optimized schedule. It's the one with the clearest mind, the calmest nervous system, the least rushed mornings, the most protected energy, the deepest sense of enough. It's the one who can sit in silence and feel completely at home. It's the one who looks at their life and doesn't feel the urge to escape it. That is emotional wealth. It's the profound relief of stepping off the treadmill, of looking around at a simpler life and feeling something you forgot was possible. Gratitude, presence, wholeness, of finally saying, with complete honesty, I don't need any more than this. And maybe the life you were searching for was never hidden inside more. Maybe it was never at the next level, never in the next purchase, never after the next achievement. Maybe it was waiting, quietly, patiently, on the other side of less.